finalize it on Tottenham, my friend, because Harry Kane opened the scoring against Brentford with a fantastic free kick. But in the end, Thomas Frank's Brentford, without Ivan Toney, come out victorious at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 3-1. Really great performance from Brentford, by the way, because they're also, realistically speaking, for European, but Tottenham, once again, Janusz. I mean, what can we say again about Tottenham that we haven't said already?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. I don't know what it takes to be a Spurs supporter. You know, I jokingly put it on Twitter that I'm convinced that they do this on purpose to their players.
I saw that. It was good.
And you see it through the season, and because it is incredible, right? I mean, if you look at every game, there's either very, very slow start, they're 2 or 3 behind. Then in the second half, all of a sudden, it's a different Spurs. And it doesn't matter who the manager was, even with Antonio Conte. Yeah, you go at halftime, you tell some truths, and then it's a different Spurs team. Or it's the other way around. Great start, and then like here, and Harry Kane scoring an incredible goal. What is this? What does this guy have to do, right? I mean, 28 goals, he scores in every game. It seems that way. You know, I don't know when was the last game that he hasn't scored, but so you have a good start. Everybody understands what the season is, but at least at home, you want to make sure that you finish on a good note. And here we are, Brentford. I mean, this is Brentford, but, you know, I don't want to spend a lot of time about the manager of the season, but, you know, how is Thomas Frank not part of it?
Preach. Preach.
Huh?
100% correct. Preach.
I do not understand it. I do not understand it. If you, I mean, look, you know, I mean, we can say, you know, I always say, hey, the team that wins it should get it. I don't care how much money they spend. But if you don't believe in that, and if you think, well, if you don't have the resources, you know, Unai Emery, for example, and I don't want to have a go at you and your Villa, right? I mean, I look at Brentford Football Club. And I look at these performances. There may be in Europe, as you've said it. So, and no Ivan Toney today, no problem. Mbeumo comes in, scores 2 wonderful goals. And for Spurs supporters, I really don't know what to say, because these guys are professionals, and what they've done in the last couple of months, it's inexcusable in my opinion. It really is. There's so much talent on that team, and no matter who the manager is, it doesn't matter who comes in. It makes zero difference who's in the lineup. The results are the same. I just think it's awful, and this may be the biggest summer for Spurs that will decide the next decade. I truly believe it, because under Pochettino, they've got themselves back on the map. This great stadium that we always talk about. We all thought that eventually that stadium is going to reap benefits, and after you're done paying off, maybe things are looking great. I'm starting to wonder. I'm starting to wonder about the leadership, about the players themselves, about the motivations of it all. And you know, I can understand part of the cycle being done, that Pochettino era, but I just don't know if I see a new cycle coming in. If it doesn't come good this summer, I think we're going to be seeing Spurs in the middle of the table or below for a long time to come.
Yeah, 100%. No project, no script. I think we're both in agreement. Janusz Michallik, Harry Kane needs to go. No?
I would. He doesn't owe them anything unless he has that special feeling that some do. I've mentioned in the past Maldini and Milan. Of course, there are not that many players. Football has changed. And I understand that. You know, I'm not asking any players to stay. So unless he has that relationship with the club, with the fans, with the city, where he doesn't break, and, you know, to him, it doesn't really matter if he wins trophies or how many trophies he wins, I'd be okay with that. But the logic tells you that I think he owes it to himself, because this is the last moment to go elsewhere and prove it. Well, no, I shouldn't say the word prove it, because he's proven that already. But no matter where he goes with a big club, he's going to continue to score, and he's going to win some trophies. So this is the last moment. I wouldn't stay. I wouldn't listen. I would go.
Yeah, and it's a contrasting game today. Brentford with a clear plan and a project, and I agree with you, Thomas Frank should have been nominated, because if you take into consideration what the Bees spend as opposed to anybody else, and then you put in comparison what's happening with Tottenham with no project, no script, it's a massive, as Janusz said, a massive summer ahead, not just in transfers, but in terms of executive decisions and ownership. But there you have it. Tottenham lose their last home game to Brentford 3-1. The race for Europe continues. The Champions League is looking a little bit clearer. We got much more action to discuss on ESPN FC. Janusz Michallik, Luis Miguel Echegaray. Everybody, the whole team will be back later on. So make sure you stay tuned. Have a great rest of your day, rest of your weekend. We'll see you next time. Till then, bye-bye.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.